The reason you don't lose the weight is because deep down inside, you still identify as the fat version of yourself. The guy who enjoys food and can't give up that tasty moment of pleasure in your mouth for a bigger purpose, right? The same thing happens in business. A lot of business owners plateau, or they meet this friction and this resistance as they're trying to scale, is because you still identify as 6-figure or 7-figure Tom when you want to be 9-figure Tom. So it's the way you're leading your team, it's your leadership, it's all a reflection of what you believe you are capable of. Because if every day you're doing things that build up esteem and you have a track record of keeping promises, of getting results, going to the gym, eating the right foods, reading the books, getting up early, doing all the things you know you should do, over time, your subconscious mind starts to recognize you as someone that's capable. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Crane, and I got a message for you business owners, entrepreneurs, and anyone that's setting goals for 2026. If you want to get the most out of this coming year, if you want to scale your business, if you want to be able to hit those personal goals, I'm going to share with you a mindset that I derived from my personal journey, but also I want to recommend a book that's going to add so much value to the way that you operate, to the way that you set and achieve your goals, and it's going to challenge your current perspective. Okay, it's by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's called The Science of Scaling. Now, if you don't know who Dr. Benjamin Hardy is, I highly recommend you look him up. He's wrote some incredible books: Be Your Future Self Now, The Gap and the Gain. He co-authored a couple books with Dan Sullivan, who's a performance coach, called Who Not How, or 10X is Easier Than 2X. All of them are great reads. And this newest edition, The Science of Scaling, is phenomenal. Now, Dr. Benjamin Hardy works with high achievers, entrepreneurs, business owners, companies that are doing 7, 8, 9 figures and beyond. And he's always looking for how he can help you get more out of your potential. Like, I don't care if you're doing 6 figures, 7 figures, or 9 figures in business, there's always room for growth. Now, the determining factor is your perceived identity and what you believe you are capable of and what is possible. Now, let's just take the average person who's struggling to achieve goals. I work with a lot of guys and they want to lose weight. They know that's going to make them more confident, give them more discipline, and that's going to carry over into how they lead their families, how they run their business. We always focus on health because your personal development is the foundation. Okay. A lot of these guys struggle to lose weight. They'll lose weight, they'll gain it back, they'll be inconsistent in their routines. And the main thing that I'm always harping on, and this applies to growing the business and the concepts that Dr. Benjamin Hardy shares as well, it all comes down to your perceived identity. The reason you don't lose the weight is because deep down inside, you still identify as the fat version of yourself. The guy who enjoys food and can't give up that tasty moment of pleasure in your mouth for a bigger purpose, right? The same thing happens in business. A lot of business owners plateau, or they meet this friction and this resistance as they're trying to scale, is because you still identify as 6-figure or 7-figure Tom when you want to be 9-figure Tom. So it's the way you're leading your team, it's your leadership, it's all a reflection of what you believe you are capable of. This is why personal development is so important, because if every day you're doing things that build up esteem and you have a track record of keeping promises, of getting results, going to the gym, eating the right foods, reading the books, getting up early, doing all the things you know you should do, over time, your subconscious mind starts to recognize you as someone that's capable. Because if you could do the little things, the mundane things consistently and efficiently, that's going to give you a belief that you can do bigger things in your life. This is the biggest disconnect that people right now are struggling with. If you want to make more money, you want to have better relationships, you want to be in a job or a career or business that you love, you want to have the right people around you, I want you to take a moment right now and look around. And I want you to recognize that all of the results that you have in your life right now are a reflection of what you believe you deserve and what you're capable of. The moment that you can shift that perspective and your mindset and believe that you deserve and can earn more money, you will. The moment that you really, really want to become that fit, healthy person, as if your life depends on it, and you want it as bad as you want to breathe this air, you will not deviate from your diet. You will not miss workouts. There is a switch that can be flipped in your mind instantaneously, and it can lead to bigger and better results over time. But that's where most people struggle. And if you look at your daily routines and habits, you got to ask yourself, are these daily routines and habits giving me the belief that I can do bigger and better things? Are these routines really instilling a deep and profound confidence in my ability? Or am I doing things that are just keeping me stuck? Am I doing things the way I've always done them? You see, you guys, you really have to be able to envision who that future self is, what he or she doesn't do, and what he or she needs to start doing now to make those results possible. And so in Dr. Benjamin Hardy's book, he talks about setting big, massive goals. Like whatever your goals are right now, 10x them. This is how you get the most out of yourself in this life. If you have a goal that is so big, so meaningful, it seems so almost impossible, right? What it does is it cuts out all the noise. Too many people have goals and their goals are small, right? And so they get distracted by other things or other goals, or they're not good with saying no to stuff, so they don't spend their time wisely. But let's use revenue, for instance, because working with numbers is an easy way to understand this. If your goal is to do $1 million in your business this year, you might be able to achieve that a couple different ways. And you might still be able to waste a little time, hang out with those toxic people, hold on to bad habits, and achieve that goal. But imagine if your goal was 10 million this year. And let's say you just did like $250,000 or $750,000 last year. And $1 million seems like a logical next step. But all of a sudden you're like, I got to do 10 million. I got to do 10 million. Oh my God, how am I going to do that? What Dr. Benjamin Hardy explains in this book, and what happens is you get so clear on that big goal and you get laser focused, because typically there's only one way to get there. And you're going to maximize your time. You're going to cut out those toxic people. You're not going to waste time doing all that crap that's not serving you. So he talks about setting this big, audacious, massive, scary, seemingly impossible goal, and then put a timeline on it. Because when you have a timeline, it creates urgency. Too many people are like, I want to get healthy. I want to make more money. I want to have better relationships. But your brain doesn't recognize what that actually means because there's no detail or substance to it. But if you're like, I want to make $10 million in 2026, now you can reverse engineer that. You know how much money you have to make per month, per week, and per day. And then very quickly, you start to look around at your team and go, are these the right people that are going to help me fulfill this goal? Do I need better players by my side? Or do I need to get rid of some of the waste, people that aren't performing, right? You start to get very focused on what has to be done. So you need a big goal that seems impossible, and you need a timeline that's going to create urgency. But what makes this all possible is your own perception of what you can actually achieve in this life. If you don't have a track record of showing up, that's where you got to start. If you don't have a foundation of personal development so that you have some confidence and competence, you're not going to be able to achieve bigger goals in life. This is the whole thing, you guys. Personal development creates professional success. And one of the main things that I focus on with the business owners that I mentor is systems in their personal life that are going to guarantee they grow physically, mentally, and spiritually, that are going to guarantee they show up as better versions of themselves for their family. And that ability that they cultivate, that real life experience that they start to get, carries over into business. It carries over into how they lead their teams. It carries over into their vision and their creativity. And all of a sudden they start thinking bigger. And this is one of the biggest things I've recognized for people, especially the business owners that I coach. Once they get fit, once they eat right, once they have this discipline, once they're consistent in their habits, their self-esteem starts to elevate. Their belief in themselves starts to elevate. Suddenly they look at all areas of their life, from the team members they have in their business, from the time they spend with their wife and children, what are they doing with their family, right? Every little detail of their life, they start to elevate the goals that they have in those areas in life. They want everything to rise as they're rising. It all is going to be a reflection of yourself. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing work on yourself every day, you're going to have low standards in other areas of life. You might be making money in business and growing a business, but are you really maximizing the potential you have in that business? Are you really maximizing the impact you could have on your team members, on your employees and customers, on the people in your community? Chances are you're not. I look at a guy who's doing 7 or 8 figures and I go, damn, if that guy was dialed in, if he was fit, if he was sober, if he had systems in his personal life that built him up every day, that guy would be dreaming even bigger. And imagine the impact that he could have. So without going into too much detail and giving you everything that Dr. Benjamin Hardy breaks down in this book, The Science of Scaling, I want you to do a couple things. First of all, I want you to order this off Amazon right away. Read all his books, the ones that I shared earlier, devour them all, study them. They're going to add so much value to your life. And the second thing I want you to do is I want you to carve out 15 minutes each and every day reflecting on what would that amazing life by design where everything is exactly the way I want it to be, what would that look like? From your relationships to your health, to your business, to your money and revenue, your impact. I want you to be able to envision and see it. Then I want you to ask yourself, who is the man or woman that I have to evolve into to make that possible? And before you achieve the big goals in life, you have to be able to get clear on who that man or woman is, what that man or woman does and does not do. And you have to be willing to eliminate things, cut people out, make sacrifices, make new commitments. That's how you scale your personal life and your business life in 2026.